our parents may be just for one lifetime, but a master, Buddha, someone we can think, who has worked something for us for final, say, true happiness, security. And it's not something you wait for old age or death to experience. It's something while you're living, you get that mental strength, fierceness. So, it's an opportunity. And this place is already looking like, or feel like a divine place, right? I myself too, in Persia, it is that divine place, wonderful atmosphere. Good things are happening, good things come to circulate around it, pervade it. So if the books come out yet like this, I think to evening we get it, no?
Unfortunately, the teachers here, somehow there's glitches. She did not receive the email that we sent her. So I will go down tonight and print it out, bring it back tomorrow.
Okay. You mean what, he couldn't send or he didn't get it?
Somehow she did not receive the emails that we sent her through Sister Melicia's phone.
Okay. So she did correct that, huh?
She's here.
I did not receive the email yet before 12 o'clock.
Okay.
So I cannot.
Wait any longer. Maybe I guess the file is really big.
All right.
So maybe take some time to try
To upload them.
Yeah.
But don't they make it too late? Tomorrow morning we'll get it?
No, we'll come back tomorrow. Yeah. We get in it. Yeah, just little glitches.
So meanwhile, you'll have to use the English one.
Yes.
This is the most important thing. In your own language, whatever. I think he has done much research, fine, and I think you already have been using those books. You have been already, I think, using those texts, right?
Yeah. As I mentioned yesterday, Brother Patrick able to use AI to translate from English to Chinese.
This one, right?
Yes, and we actually had he actually had 3 nights. We spent 3 nights on Zoom to share actually the Chinese version. I believe most of
so you're already familiar.
Yes.
See the one that is old print, the translation will be sent with the English, but don't ponder too long. You have the Kanda Varga coming, okay, Salai.
Yes.
That have you gone through before, Chinese?
I don't know others, but actually reading. Okay. Okay, there's a few of them. They actually have the book, The Work of Buddha, the translation version in their phone and their iPad.
From the English.
From English. Yeah, and also Brother Shi
And
actually.
not the AI, the original, the old one.
Oh, the original one, no.
AI one.
The AI one. Actually, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
I will check where this one is. There's some special meanings.
Yes. I'm thinking to maybe we go back. We probably try to transfer from the Sinhali version also and see what's the.
Sinhali also, a little bit. They have used old Sinhalese.
Right.
Very simple, very simple. I think AI could have done a better job. I don't know. You see, especially we just take one example. Okay? Now even this simple thing like this, we have the one AI one.
Whenever Jill, you're making.
So there are some newcomers, relax, okay?
Okay.
The very important thing is where Buddha talks about, the very important, with regard to wisdom, regarding the working of consciousness and things like that. It should be clear and simple. But sometimes even Sinhalese one, we found some parts okay, but the most important thing they have muddled it up in. They're trying to just think of the language only, not convey the idea.
Yes.
And this is not a small joke, it's distortion like that. Because these are the things that can make you awaken. It doesn't matter. So some translations they're okay, some like that. That's how the Sinhalese one goes also. But we got one that is very close, less mistaken, we can easily read and understand. So that one, I think they have put to this Sinhalese.
The Chinese brother does have a translation. A Chinese translation. Yeah, sent this morning.
It doesn't mean that you need to have at least some degree of clarity now. Then, because it's not the word that will convey the, should be some clarity for you to use it for your contemplation.
Yes.
That's all. And then you do it just like that. So we'll see the main points, some of them come there or there. But let me check this word of the Buddha. You have the AI translation in Chinese.
Sister Jill actually bringing the iPad. Maybe it's easier to read. Yeah, this is really to
So අපේ සිංහලෙන් තමාකයට යන්නත් විතරද සිංහලෙන් වැඩියෙන් මොකද ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් ගොඩක් අය ඉන්නවද නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ එකපාරම සිංහල පොත් තියෙනවද නේද? පටන් ගත්තද කියවන්න. මෙච්චර අපේ හාවුස් අම්මන්සේ මෙන්න තේරුම් කරේ නැහැ. තනියම අපි කියුවා ඒ වගේ. ඉතින් අපි මේක ලොකුවට මේ කියලා දෙන්න උගන්වන්න ඕනේ ගන්නේ නෙමෙයි. තනි වෙලා අවශ්‍ය කරන්න ඕනේ. අනිත් නැත්තම් මේක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක උදයන්ෙන් මගේ මෞතුමියත් හොඳට අර ඉන්න තැන කරනවා අර මේක උදකලා වෙලා ගෙදරුණත් ඒක සිද්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ගෙදරක නෙමෙයි ඉන්නේ අර හෝම් එක වගේ. අනිභාවයේ නිදහස් බුදු සරණ තියාගෙන සරල අපේ සත්‍ය පේන එකක් නෙවෙයි තියෙන්නේ. අපි කියන්නේ I told like this, I don't need to get explanation. This retreat is not where I have to explain a lot and so on. What is important is, we didn't get this much explanation by my teacher. Just he told us to read this. We went with the books and we were alone with the book. It's very important, that. And then after 2 days I met him. By that I stayed for 2 weeks. But I went through exactly how he told me. Now we will be reading this, and then we go to Kandavarga. Have you read the Anatamagga Samhita, the first part I told? In English even? The Incalculable Beginnings?
Yes.
Then you get a kind of urgency, right?
Yes.
That how difficult we got this human birth, and in a very big samsaric scale. Alright? Otherwise we might think in terms of wildfire or corona or something, but there's so much greater difficulty if you lose this birth. So even if there's no corona, no wildfire, we have a wildfire because we know that it's so difficult. Anytime I can get a disease, I might lose this life, and whether I will have another human birth, not sure. So this way that gives you mind to be really strict with you and to do the thing. That's why my teacher used to tell us to read that first. He has the order, some purpose. Later only I realized that all this is how he tells us to go through. We just check some few of the This time my other friend, this retreat is have to be taking photographs of me or the program. Somebody has to do something what to do. It's very important. මම පොඩ්ඩක් කරලා තිරණේ ධර්ම විඥානය වෙන කරලා බෙන්න එකයි මරණ මොහොතදී මේ කියන්නේ ඒක ගැන නම් ඒක නිකන් ලාවට තේරුමක් තියෙනවනේ විඥානෙට අරමුණක් තියෙනනේ පහළ වෙන්න. අරමුණක් නැතුව පහළ වීමක් නෑ ඒක හේතු සාගතවයි පහළ වෙන්නේ. අදාත් විඥානයක් කයට තු පහළ වෙන්නේ නෑ. එතකොට ඒකයි කය අනිත්‍ය නම් අනාත්ම නම් එන විඥානය තනි අනාත්ම වෙන්න ඕනේද නැද්ද? අනිම බලන ක්‍රමයක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ පේන එක කොහොම මොනවද විඥානය පහළ වෙන එකද? ආම්රු පේනවා. ඇස් වලින් කන් වලින් එනවා. විඥානය පහළ වුණ නැත්නම් මොකක්ද? එහෙ නිකන් මොනවද? අන්ධකාරයක් වගේ හිතන්න පුළුවන්. සිය නැතුව ඉන්නවා වගේ හිතන්න. එමය අපිට තෝරගන්න ඕනේ. දැන් අපි දිහා අපිට මේ සිදුවෙන දේ ගැන විමසන එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒකට තමයි ඒක සති සම්පජන්ණය වෙන්නේ. සතිය විතරක් කියන්නේ වර්තමාන හිත තියාගන්න. සම්පජන්ණය කියන්නේ එහෙම මේක වෙන යථාර්ථය මේක සිදුවෙන ආකාරය කල්පනා කරන එක. විමසන. මගේ සිංහල හොඳයි දැන් විශ්වාස කරලා සිංහල කියලා කියනවා. ලංකාවේ කට්ටිය මාර ඒ පරිස්සමෙන් දැන් එහාට මෙහෙට යනකොට අපි අර ඉතින් අර වැඩේ යන්නේ එහෙමනේ නිකන් මාතෘකාවක් කරගෙන රිලැක්ස් වෙනවා වැඩක් නෑ පිට යන්න ඕනේ මෙට යන්න එකක් නෑනේ ඒ සිය කියන අවෑනස් එක we take this page number 10. It's like regarding the elements.
Page number 10.
Maybe it's a different page due to the Chinese. Regarding the elements, like hard nature, the beginning part. What now is the solid element? You have the English one also, so you know where I'm reading. And then what I see is even when you hold this book, there's so much merit. If you just read this book, there's so much merit. So much good karma rather than hours will be seated down in meditation. You think it's a meditation, it's okay. That's what we have ideally thinking. Here when you're trying to exercise your, you could say, faculty to realize, to come to awakening, then it is a very powerful karma, kusala karma. What now is the element, the solid element, maybe one's own or it may be external. That part you got it?
Are you reading the Padavi Dhatu?
Yeah, Padavi Dhatu.
Yeah. The translation is hardness.
Okay, hardness.
Right.
The solid element may be one. Then the solid element may be one's own or it may be external. Does it convey the meaning?
Maybe external, I would say. No. External.
Internal means element maybe one's own means one's own body, what is made out of solid nature.
Oh, this part. Okay. Okay. So, brother, okay. Okay. The harness can be inner and it can be external.
Okay. And what is one's own solid element? Whatever in one's own person or body there exists, karmically acquired hardness, those ideas are coming?
Yes, yes.
Firmness.
This has that meaning, yes.
Okay.
Harmonically built.
Hairs of the head, hairs of the body, nails, things like that. And when you go down further,
Alright?
now whether it be one's own solid element or whether it be the external solid element, they are both merely the solid element.
Right, yes.
That idea comes,
Yes.
then with that idea you get the anatta idea, right?
Right. Right.
Okay, then good.
This is
That's
not me, this is not I.
Okay. Not bad, not bad. Very simple. And this one we go just another page number 13. Itu orang balance single එකෙන් හරිද? ඒක සිංහල හතරවද බලන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. සිංහල එකේ පටිච්ච සමුප්පාද විඥාන.
විඥානය අඛණ්ඩ.
ඒක page 14 සිංහල එකේ dependent origination of consciousness. Okay, 13, page number 13 in English. Is it there?
Yes.
Okay. Now, though one's eye be intact, yet if the external forms do not fall within the field of vision, and no corresponding conjunction of eye and forms takes place, in that case, there occurs no formation of the corresponding aspect of consciousness.
Yes, they do have it.
Okay, that means the eye is there, but if the external stimulation, like from sound, light or those things don't come in contact, external forms do not fall within the field of vision, and no corresponding conjunction of eye and forms takes place. Conjunction means like the connection due to your paying attention. Okay, in that case, there occurs no formation of the corresponding aspect of consciousness.
My conscious will not rest.
Yeah, that is clear, right?
Yes, very clear.
Which is clear for you,
Yes.
the English one or the Chinese one?
Oh, actually, yeah, we can understand. Actually, the Chinese translation not too bad. They're using the special terms.
Don't get attached to Chinese or English. Try to get where you can get the vision. Okay?
Yes.
Like that, you find. Although once I be intact in the external form, so like, I think it's okay. Hence I say the rising of consciousness. So now we can do this, okay?
Yes.
We do it. When you get the translation tomorrow, you can use it for further. Okay. And when you get the Kandavak also, have the English one and the Chinese together.
Yeah.
Okay, and then find out meaning should be same. Like that. But don't go to, then learn to apply, that's the very important thing. Now whether there's no difference in the dhatu, in that one also, there's no me, no I, the awareness has to come in your silent mind. That's very important. Not fast read, they are not to be read fast and like that. There's a wisdom eye, which is not exercise. You have to see hard nature. When you're observing, you will notice your breathing. Why? Because you are paying in the moment so much. That's why I tell you with Metta Bhavana, and when you're walking, try to bring the mind to the moment to get that ability to stay there. Unfortunately, you have been now in another world where you're just going. The moment is like very tiring to do it. Okay? But we try it, okay? We try just to be in the moment. What to do, some karma we have to do there. But this is where this right thing, we have to learn to see it into our mind. The hard nature here, hard nature outside is not that what the book says like that. Using that information, you must personally, so you're not thinking of anything else, but you're only focusing on that idea Buddha giving you. If you take it as a nature wise, or even if you take it in terms of electrons and all that, it's made out of electrons and all these protons. and the electrons, protons outside also no difference, right? So, but more than that, better, this way Buddha says, the hard nature. And the liquid nature, for example, like in your blood, and even in the tap or whatever, you can imagine, it's, or the river, the water that is flowing. So sometimes you can read this, and in your walking meditation, you can think about it. Like this, there are so many other things coming, you can try several of them. This is how you are activating your yoniso manasikara, which is the main factor for attaining sotapanna. That's what you want to achieve. So other things you really want to achieve, you have to create your character. Cross away and make yourself calm, peaceful, all the distractions slowly less. Bound to see this. What is this? It is bound to experience this. There's not a big deal. And if you are doing the right analyzing there and patient, not being distracted by so many other teachings and this and that, then we refer to the Buddha, simple. It's not a big thing. So in English one we go through now slowly. Okay, now we have to cover dependent origination of consciousness. Now, though once I be intact, yet if the external forms do not. So we must also remember these are not like you have to know this to come to that. There's no order like that. Somewhere it can trigger. Some point, some way. So this is like I tell, not one technique here. There are like 1,000 techniques here. Because Buddha, so many ways which he made enlightenment to many people, this is, you're getting the opportunity now. I can also make you can make us, this is not the way we are allowing, like Buddha's time, same time. He being the teacher now, your teacher is him. Okay. Now when you are doing these exercises, his instruction you are not following. In this case, some more clarity come in that, you will see the Buddha. See means to understanding, not as a physical form or something. So the last part it is said, in the case to අපි මේ අන්තිම කොටසම මේ පටිච්ච සමුප්පාද විඥානය. ඒක ගැලපෙනව නේද මම අර තේරුම් කරපු එකත් එක්ක. හේතු ටික තියෙන්න ඕනේ අර මේ මම බුදු දේවනාංශ තේරුම් කරන එකක් මම කිව්වේ. අර විඥානේ පහළ වෙන්න ඊට සාතන වාතයට ඒවා හේතු නැතිඳ පහළ වෙන්නේ නැති අර. එතකොට මෙතන මේ පටිච්ච සමුප්පාද විඥානය කියන එකත් එක්ක තේරුම පැහැදිලිද? Now you know what I explained about, my teacher explained about the conditioned nature, the last moment, how the Arahant has no desires and there's no conditions are not there, the consciousness not arising. Like Anagami, I have added that explanation. The conditioned nature, he has still an object, right? And Anagami, the non-returner. That's why the consciousness arises to him again. Like that, this conditioned nature, but dependent origination of consciousness here, does it make sense? To everybody, does it make sense? Right?
Yes.
This point is very important for you to make it mentally clear. Okay? It makes sense, right? And what are the parts of consciousness? You need for consciousness can it arise without a body? So the body is a definite part. Then what are the other factors of consciousness? Feeling. Factors means that it arises through the 6 sense organs. But each consciousness, if it arises from eye, ear, nose, anywhere, it has these basic factors. What is it? Feeling, perception, and reaction according to perception. Now also it's happening when you are talking to me also. Unless you might feel it's interesting and I like to be, maybe sometimes you feel I'm tired, let me go to my room. So this is all reaction based on the feeling. It's happening all the time. This is happening in each sense organ. And we are also creating karma by the reaction part. And for this only we think it's me. This I am feeling, I am perceiving. I is coming to this. Due to this is all existing with craving. Okay? So that's why we say the old age or birth is all nothing but these 5 things appearing, rising and sustaining. Okay? So that's why Buddha says jati pi dukkha, jara pi dukkha, or this birth is suffering, old age is suffering, death is suffering. In short, Buddha says panchupadana skandhas, the 5 khandhas are suffering. And so now and the craving for 5 khandhas is the main thing, right? මේකත් සිංහලෙන් උත්තින 16 වෙනි එක විඥාන ස්කන්ධය ඉති ස්කන්ධ 4 හේතු කොටගෙන පවතී. රූප වේ 14 වෙනි 16 වෙනි පිටුවේ විඥාන ස්කන්ධය ඉති ස්කන්ධ 4 හේතු කොටගෙන පවතී. රූප වේදනා සංඥා සංකාරයන්ගේ සම්බන්ධයක් නොමැතිව විඥානයේ පැවැත්ම වැඩිම හා දියුණුව හෝ එක් භවයකින් චුත වීම හා හෝ වෙනත් භවයකට ඇතුල් වීම හෝ විස්තර කිරීමට බැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ in the page number 14, whatever there is of corporeality, on that, this was important, see it in the Chinese where there is correctly. That is the end of the explanation of condition, that is dependent origination of consciousness, in part of the explanation. Now it's describing each organ, the consciousness arising. So for each organ, the type of consciousness you get, it's called by that, like if you get with the ear, that consciousness is called ear consciousness. With the nose, it's called nose consciousness. So, and they are all conditioned. Now, whenever consciousness arises, whatever, now say for example, now consciousness arises. So whatever form it used for it to arise right now, that is called the Rupa Skandha, or the body form. Okay? Page number 14. Then this belongs to the group of corporeality, or the form. Okay? Whatever there is of feeling, this belongs to the group of feeling. Whatever there is perception, this belongs to the group of perception. Whatever there are mental formations, sankhara, this belongs to the group of mental formations. Okay? Mental formation means reaction with greed, hate or delusion. Alright? So they are not, never if you get a feeling, you will definitely get a perception. And with the perception, you get a reaction. Alright? This is always happening. This doesn't mean that you have to now notice where, how it's happening. Just an idea you must have. You can't know it's so fast happening. Okay, some teachers, some ways of practice, they're trying to know it like that way. It did not happen also. So their explanations change from one bana to the other bana. Because they find a new one, or they now explain that. Another one, they explain that. So people also like this kind of thing because it tickles your brain. Tickling the brain, okay, for some time, but whether it brings realization is a question. I feel they are not. I don't know how to say this. It's not nice. I will judge, but anyway, I have a personal idea about it. I'm telling in general, I feel this is not experience, that's the problem. So it's still in the process of searching and research. So if that goes on, nice discourse, yes, there are a lot of interesting findings, new findings, but it's not like that. That's why you must not try to explain too much, and you must not try to understand it also. Remember this very carefully. මේක තේරුම් ගන්න යන්නත් එපා. නිකම්ම තේරෙන්න ඕනේ. ඉවසන්න පොඩ්ඩක්. කියවන්න යන්න. If you don't understand somewhere, don't wait there long. Just go to the next page. Just continue. Okay? තේරෙනවද ඒක? This is how it should be done.
I think you say a little bit more of what do you mean by if you don't understand, it's okay, just
yeah, don't try to understand.
Don't try to understand.
And if you find a place where you can't understand, just skip that. No.
Skip.
It doesn't mean this will follow that. It's not your thing, then you can find somewhere else. This is how this teaching should be read. And therefore, whatever there is corporeality. And when you read these things, you must sit comfortably, relax your body. Even in bed, doesn't matter if it's straight back, when you don't fall asleep. Straight back is really important. Even in a chair, the legs are hurting, keep it relaxingly. Alright? Okay, now this one I want to check in the Chinese one. Therefore, whatever there is of corporeality, feeling, perception, this, whatever there is of the page 14 in English one, whatever there is of corporeality on that occasion, this belongs to the group of corporeality. Whatever there is of feeling, this belongs to the group of feeling. Whatever there is of perception, this belongs to the group of perception. See whether it is the same.
Okay, right here, yes. We have it.
It's the same idea.
Same idea.
That means in a moment of consciousness, whatever the consciousness used as a body, that is called the, you could say, form aggregate. Okay? So in that moment, whatever that functioned as feeling is called the feeling aggregate. Whatever that was present, because feeling and perception are different functions in consciousness. So whatever that was as perception that worked, it is called the perception aggregate, sanya. And whatever it was that the reaction was just like that, very simple thing. Okay. We are getting into Buddha's type of thinking, I'm so happy, I don't know how this happened. Because it's like in this so different world, entirely a different kind of thinking. I also came in that, but I feel I'm also old soul from this Aryan thinking. It's very, very for self-realization, and we are in another entire different age and period.
Could I ask a quick question? Could you quickly clarify the difference between perception and consciousness? Or is that...
No, it's innate. Perception is a factor in consciousness. Now you have a consciousness is all engulfing. Consciousness, it's like a part of consciousness is perception. Now we are showing how the consciousness can never arise without perception. That means in consciousness you have a feeling, for example, and what you feel, you perceive, that's the next part of in the consciousness. It happens, you could say, simultaneously. Okay? And perception is different from feeling because feeling is like the sensation part. Perception is from judging part. As I told you, as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, it judges, it recognizes. So when it recognizes or judges as pleasant, there's another part that comes after that, reacting part. That is called sankhara, mental formations. Okay? And if it will react with greed, that becomes karma. Okay? It has intention. Intention is formed by this greed, hate, and delusion. Even in law court cases, they check this, right? You can see that how there's intention only and so on. So the intention is formed, that becomes a moral law. So after perception, we have this reaction. The way you perceive, you react. Now we change into Dhamma perception. That's how the reactions begins to. Dhamma perception is the knowledge of like anitya. It's a sanya also. Dukkha. Anitya perception. Impermanent perception. Dukkha perception. Anatta perception. Or impurity perception. That's opposite. It is they're stopping the mind karma. What word karma and body karma. Okay? In this practice we are changing the perception. We are making it, that's where we can change this the whole thing. So do you understand? It's part of actually. When the moment of consciousness is always there, when you see it's already so fast happened. You have in your conscious, like your unconscious slowly open, If you're seeing, immediately either you are attracted or repelled, and this already happens so fast. So that is all the reaction part. But before that, you have to recognize. That is the perception part. To recognize, you must get that with the contact, the feeling. So that's already happened. So it just follows. They are the calls. They are what we call, we think it's me and I and all that.
So the feeling is the bodily sensation part, or not?
The body is used. Now normally body is used for the feeling. But to recognize it as pleasant, unpleasant, it's already the perception part coming to that. So this is how to say now, because we have learned to see perception, feeling in the body and watch the body feelings mostly. So, but whenever we are even observing or whatever, we'll be observing it as a pleasant or unpleasant feeling. Okay, so there already we have perceived as pleasant or perceived as unpleasant. So if you have a neutral feeling, you'll be just waiting, or we don't feel pleasure or unpleasant. But if you are like not analyzing and really seeing how it's happening, we are living in delusion according to that. Because we are not realized that even in samadhi, for example, you are not feeling pleasant, unpleasant. But you are in an equanimous, so it's a feeling. But you are like that means, according to Buddha, you have no anger, no greed. But your delusion is there. So we want to complete this. So that feeling itself is still your in consciousness. Okay, it's a factor of consciousness. So consciousness is there. But now, if you have wisdom, if you have wisdom, you feel completely. This type of wisdom will bring complete dispassion. Right? So in dispassion, you find you turn away from feeling, perception, and everything, every part of consciousness. That's the only time you transcend consciousness. Understand? So this is the only way you come out of this whole thing that is keeping you for endless births. So where there is consciousness, there is name and form and all that. So that is transcended only through wisdom. So this is the finding of a Samma enlightened being. Is it clear regarding this? Every time when there is now here you say, this part, wherever there is corporeality feeling, whatsoever there is of corporeality, on that occasion that belongs to the group of corporeality. Maybe we must forget everything about what we have learned from modern science or any other retreats also. How Buddha says instantly how we are getting consciousness. We have an eye and an object, and then there is the initial attention, then there is the connection and sensation coming. That is it's like really that intention itself. It's so fast that there itself you are getting very fast. You get the feeling, and then there's immediately the perceiving of it and reacting for it. Okay, so now it has happened so many times now, and so you learn to see that we are looking at this happening like from outside. So we are seeing a human being, and this human being or a being, even Deva or Brahma, okay, Devata or any animal, anyone, he's going through this body, feeling, perception, and so on. Reaction. Some are becoming, in other worlds, is very, very like robotic. They can't have more this thing. This is because of karma. They're getting that type of life. So, but in the human plane, just keep it. We have these 5 khandhas. What we are made up of. So every time, perception is part of what you feel, you perceive. And how you perceive, you react. So now we change the perception, that's karma, that's what generating again, which brings another body, another type of context to give the type of feelings we need to get due to the karma. So now we are changing the perception, the wisdom, then the reaction changes. So the karma begins to, stop.
But I have a question regarding that. So where does the craving fit in that area? Like, because what I'm feeling is that the craving overtakes my intention of like continuing that thought process, but I feel like I get engulfed in that some kind of a, it's like a hidden kind of a creature. Like when I try trying to be aware of what's happening, like we said earlier, like walking, be aware of, but I'm thinking about other things. So I think
it will happen to all of you now, because you are now you mostly used to now have to perform that word and to go that, to do that, so on. So now you'll be training something else to, yes?
And then also when we are not doing something, just thoughts come.
Yeah.
And then when the perception happens, it tend to be like some craving coming from nowhere,
Yeah, correct.
overtaking
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
all that. So is there any way to?
No, don't worry, don't worry, I understand. It should come, because now you're in operation theatre. In this. So definitely very gross, very unexpected things can come and overpower you, thought-wise. Alright, it should happen. If it doesn't happen, that means you're also busy here. That's not good. No, it's not allowing your inside things to come out. You must isolate yourself, then only the real operation will happen. Otherwise you'll miss some things that can happen while you're here. So when they come, that's why the main things that can come is sensual desires, anger, irritation, fears. Okay, so that's why beforehand also I've given you tools like impurity, visualizing impurities and so on. Another one is compassion, little metta meditation. Okay, and otherwise little chanting. Not to worry if they come also. You just need to chant, or just don't be serious if you let them come. Okay, and then you try those things. If you can't overcome, maybe you do some chanting. That might come in spite of that, doesn't matter. Otherwise, just lie down and just wait, or do some little sweep. Then only you should go to an external activity, the last. Just to try to, and if it's still, let it be. Let it come, and let it go. If you go, it's also impermanent. So like that, you have to deal with those things. They are like process things. If they don't come now and you don't clear with this kind of life and practice, they'll come at a moment of death. And some things even you can now notice really, with anger and greed, what you have done in the past, it might come. That is the karma. That's why it's come. It's like now, this moment is like a moment of death. So it's protecting what is latent within you. And now if it will come, and then it will clear. Because you stick to the Dhamma, you'll be even not trying to worry about it or take it as you also. So when you're doing this reading, it might come again. So many other different things. But when you're doing this whole things like reading, contemplating and all that, you're putting those things, there's a purification happening. Washing of your karma. It's called tapasya. That's why tapasya is for cleansing your karma. Did you all get? I can't explain. It must be happening to all of you, okay? If it's not happening, then you are talking too much, or you just started the day, so it doesn't matter. It should happen.
So, one question about consciousness. Does it include feeling, perception, and mental formation, or is that a separate concept? Because there are 5 groups of existence. So I don't know if it's the other 3 or it's just separate.
Please repeat that again.
So the question is whether the consciousness includes feeling, perception, and mental formations.
It is part of consciousness. Consciousness is made up of feeling, perception, and mental formation. Without that, you can't find consciousness.
Then why does it say 5 groups of existence, and you have consciousness and in parallel with the other 3?
Where?
You have 5 groups of existence. It's page 8. 5 groups of existence.
Okay.
The 5 groups include the group of corporeal reality.
Yeah, that's the body. Okay.
Yeah, the body and
Feelings.
the feelings and perception
Okay.
and mental formations and consciousness. So the consciousness looks like it's in parallel with the other 3 or 4.
Yeah, yes, it's parallel means to explain you have to write them like that. Okay. But when it's happening, when consciousness is actually now also you're conscious, you in the consciousness now already you are having feeling, perception and reaction. Okay. It's there. It's like in the light, for example. Okay. There's a light beam. So inside the light beam you can separate, different what is this with the the prism, those days I can't remember that you send the light through and it breaks down into different colors, right? So it's something like that. It's inside that those different colors. All right. Same way there is feeling, perception. So Buddha is the one who separate and show like that. You get it. So always in consciousness there is feeling, perception. It's not to write all these things when even now Satipatthana, you have Dhammanupassana and all that, Vedananu like that. So they write like that, but when you practice and when it's really operating, in every Kayanupassana there is Dhammanupassana. When you're analyzing the rising, passing away. So only if you practice only you know how this is, how it's really happening. So it's just like, again, like a beam of light. Or in the water you have different minerals and so on, okay? Same way it's made out of all those minerals, the water, okay? One body, alright? Same way a conscious experience, you have always a feeling and there is that judging of the feeling, measuring the feeling, that is perception. The way you judge, you perceive, you measure, thus you react. Okay, normally it is as pleasant, unpleasant and neutral. So the reaction this is the general, but it's happening all the time in all the sense organs. Okay? You have to keep it like that. That's how it's really happening.
So it all come together, it doesn't have a sequence which comes first or...
No. Yeah. You can't say this, yeah. They all come together. Okay? You will get an explanation. Let me show you one part. Alright? Yeah. Wait. Okay, this 14, page number 14 in the English one. In the English one, 14, the Chinese you can. Don't try to too much get a clarity of how it's working. Have a general idea because it is not to be known from words. This is and you know that these khandhas are the 5 aggregates are there because you can't see like this. Even electrons, atoms, and you can't see, right? So in the page number 14, dependency of consciousness on the other 4 khandhas. Okay, page number 14. To give you some more. This thing, this is all what Buddha is speaking. Page number 14, dependency of consciousness on the other 4 khandhas. And it is impossible for anyone to explain the passing out of one existence and the entering into new existence, or the growth or increase and development of consciousness independently of corporeality, feeling, perception and mental formations. You get that one?
Very clear.
So, Bhante, is it the speed and the nature of consciousness constantly arriving that creates the I?
Sorry? Speed?
So the speed of the formation of consciousness.
Oh, you mean, yeah, like a stream.
The stream is what gives the I existence. So I comes from continuous nature of consciousness.
Yeah, craving also. Craving the one creates life. Craving to that. So the speed is really that. The speed is one thing that is fast happening. That's one thing also you can't notice in a very visible, sensual way. The changes like the body. You can sensually or visually you can notice the body, period of time getting old and something like that. But consciousness is so fast changing, it's that one part aspect which makes it difficult to know it as I, not I. That is just small parts that are constantly born and dying, with conditions finishing, next conditions coming. But more than that, with that also, and the craving. The craving makes you make it an identity. You give life to it. You give an identity to and life to anything. Sometimes some people who are very attached to anything, they will even start to talk with that. It looks mad. They talk about my taxi auto driver, his young boy, he talks with that metal junk. Yes, sometimes I'm telling in big programs, he tell, for once you told about me also. That's why be careful what you speak in front of me. So it is, I can understand the psychology, how it's working. So when you get attached to even like family members, mostly you can see, you relate with their hair, look at how their face, all that, you think this that person. You give that, it's not because of your craving. Soon with wisdom, the craving decreases, you begin to see it objectively, and then, this will happen. Then you see the reality, the truth. Okay, is that clear with you?
So this Chinese process, the conscious cannot be independent from the other four groups, right? But I think by the same token, the feeling cannot be separate from the other four, and also the perception cannot be separate from the other four, and the formation cannot be separate. So it looks like they're all dependent on the other four. I don't know if the rupa can be separate or not, can be separate from the other four or not.
No, consciousness cannot never arise without a body. It
Yeah.
cannot arise in like free space.
But can body exist independent from consciousness?
That's a dead body, right?
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah, that's
Vegetable, maybe.
Yeah, that's a dead body.
Yeah.
And also can feeling be independent from.
Why do you want to get so much independence?
Well, I'm just thinking is consciousness include all the other four, or feeling can also include the other things.
You will not notice feeling if you don't have perception. They are like in one thing.
Yeah.
It's like you can't, if you feel and you don't perceive, means it cannot happen like that. What you feel, you perceive. What you perceive, if you perceive, then you react. It's like that, it's interconnected, condition. So they are like depending, they are just there when that is there. One is there, that is there. But it's so fast happening, that now this is what Buddha is speaking, not the Chinese or English translator. It's not a translator, it's a Buddha talking now actually, yeah. So just keep it now, not try to too much understand it but at least this basically you must know that consciousness is dependent on these four, they are parts of, four are there in the consciousness. And the last moment I told you about when dying, you get a last thought and all that. So that is like, that is where the khandhas are trying to rise again. So now this is connected with karma and craving. That's very important. You don't get, like the type of outside stimulation, an object, or maybe a husband or a boss or a child you get, type of feeling you get from those people. So they are karmically determined. Alright? So then it creates a particular type of consciousness in you. Alright? The way you react will generate the next type of associations you are getting. Yeah. So that's how this is going on. That's why we tell, face it, don't react now, finish it off now. Okay? So otherwise you are just creating your own world going on. This is what samsara is about. So now, it's important to know that when you have craving and when you have, karma, how you have a last thought and how you get distracted, and then the conditions are there and the consciousness will arise. Okay, when consciousness arises, that will be in a mother's womb or any other kind of existence. Alright, so like this part is it clear, that part?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't have craving, like for Nara, for example, there's no focus to any of the, or you can have focus to body, feeling, perception, these things. Okay, we are like a consciousness, like a flashlight. If you want to get the light somewhere, it has to hit on something. Alright, so if there's nothing to hit, there won't be light. Okay, so this is how the consciousness, if it has nothing to hit, so it will not arise. Alright, so this is a very big thing because in the future reading, not reading, your contemplation and your walking meditation, it will help you. Alright. Now I'm stuck with questions. We will go to it. So good. You are from the beginning starting with questions. Let's see. Okay. Either taken separately or okay. We will go through the other one, also very nice explanation. Page number 15. In the English one, right? We'll go through that. The Anatta doctrine, okay? Yes. Individual existence as well as the whole world is in reality nothing but this Bhante is explaining, okay? Who wrote this book? When you have in small letters, this is the Bhante's, I don't know how, it's two different things, not Buddha talking here. It's an explanation. Yeah, introduction, like so. So you should know that. Don't take what he says very seriously, but it also helps, okay? Like, don't take what I'm saying also very seriously. Because I'm also like that, an introductory person. Right? You take what is Buddha is speaking very serious. I'm not joking about this. It's a serious idea I'm giving you. Right? Individual existence as well as the whole world is in reality nothing but a process of ever-changing phenomena, which are all comprised in the 5 groups of existence. This process has gone on from time immemorial, before one's birth and also after one's death. It will continue for endless periods of time, as far as there are conditions for it, as stated in the preceding text. The 5 groups of existence, either taken separately or combined, in no way constitute a real ego entity or subsisting personality, and equally no self, soul, or substance can be found outside of these groups as their owner. In other words, the 5 groups of existence are not self, nor do they belong to a self. In view of the impermanence and conditionality of all existence, the belief in any form of self must be regarded as an illusion. Just as what we designate by the name chariot has no existence apart from axle, wheels, shafts, body, and so forth, or as the word house is merely a convenient designation for various materials put together after a certain fashion so as to enclose a portion of space, and there is no separate house entity in existence in exactly the same way that which we call a being or an individual or a person or by the name I is nothing but a changing combination of physical and mental phenomena and has no real existence in itself. The English one is how old? Single ke kiyo in the name.
After 16.
Okay, Anatma Dharma. ගොල්ලන් මේක අල්ලගන්න මම ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කියනකොටනේ දැන් ගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රමාණය අඩුයි ඒකින්ද මම ලේසි තව සිංහලයට එකතු කරගෙන ඉන්න මම ඒකටත් කියන්න තියෙන ඇත්ත කියන්න ඕනේ දැන් සමහර තැන් වල කියනවා දැන් ඔන්න පිටට අයිනවා පිට කියන්නේ සිංහලයනේ කාරි බැලේ මම දැන් මට රෙස්ට් එකක් දෙන්න කියලා මට ආරංචි රෙස්ට් එකක් කියන්නේ මම දැන් මේ එකපාරක් එනකොට 100,000 හිටියත් මට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මේ කීපවතාවක් කෙන එක තමයි පොඩ්ඩක් එහෙම වෙනවා නම් වෙන්නේ. මේ අතරින් ගොඩක් දැන් මම ෆිට් ඉඳ තමයි දැන් ධර්මාර්ථයක් දන්නවා එහෙම කියන්නේ. නැත්තම නිශ්ශබ්දව ඉන්නවා දෙයක් නේද? අකණ්ඩ වැටුණානේ හිතට. අතර දේශගුණේ අර දැන් සමීපයේ නැත්තම් අපු දවසේ අසනීපයෙන් එන්නේ තියෙන ටික මම මේ කිය බයෙන් නැහැ. ඉන්නකොට උදේ නැගිටිනකොට අමාරුයි. නැත්නම් මේ හොඳ තරහ පාවිච්චි කරන්න වටිනවා. අවස්ථාව මටත් හොඳයි. This is in brief the Anatta doctrine of the Buddha, the teaching that all existence is void of a permanent self or substance. It is the fundamental Buddhist doctrine not found in any other religious teaching or philosophical system. To grasp it fully, not only in an abstract and intellectual way, but by constant reference to actual experience, is an indispensable condition for the true understanding of the Buddha Dhamma and for the realization of his goal. These monks also, he was a scholar monk actually. So he was my teacher's preceptor. But my teacher practiced, fully. He left everything, but they are the ones who taught him Pali and everything. And he's the one who gave him this book in the prison when they met, in Dehradun during the Second World War time. All the Germans were put in the prison. So then my teacher got this book, and he found it very clear when he read these things. Suppose a man with a good sight beheld the many bubbles on the Ganges as they drove along, and he watched them and carefully examined them. Then after he had carefully examined them, they would appear to him empty, unreal, and unsubstantial. In exactly the same way does the monk behold all the corporeal phenomena, feelings, perceptions, mental formations and states of consciousness, whether they may be the past or the present. You can apply this, When it says past, present, you can even imagine in the morning we met, right? Can you remember we met here in the morning or 10:30 or I don't know. Right? Then that time also we had certain rupa vedana, our body feeling perceptions arose that time, right? So what happened to them? It arose and passed away. We must note it. So how empty it is, the experience we had. So when Buddha says like this, behold all the corporeality phenomena, feeling, perception, mental formations and states of consciousness, whether they be of the past, you must apply to a real experience you had. And just study what happened. Then only it becomes a meditation. And the present, while we are now talking, what we are now hearing, what do you hear very, very in a prominent way just right now? Can you hear something very prominently right now? Yeah, some sound, right? What is the sound?
It's the air conditioning.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this you must be aware. Then this is the present feelings, perceptions that is arising in the sensual world, right? Or the future, that which must imagine now, evening something you might experience, tomorrow or some years later, far or near. And he watches them and examines them carefully. Watches means notice, thinks about it. And after careful examination, then they appear to him empty. Void and without a self. I'm just taking one part, Buddha is telling now there are so many ways you can do like that. This is how you should be doing. Okay, when you are reading, you must apply to That's why you have to live in silence and alone with this book. Whoever delights in corporeality, are you following? I think on the same page. Whoever delights in corporeality, or feeling or perception of mental formations or consciousness, he delights in suffering. And whoever delights in suffering will not be freed from suffering. Thus I say. They are selling. So this maybe you might just read now. Maybe you are eating the food or taking your evening, whatever. It may be tasty or whatever. So you should notice that time, oh, now I am allowing feelings. And then you remember the Buddha's word, if I allow feelings and enjoy them, I am enjoying suffering. Enjoying suffering means your craving nature will be increased more. And as a result of that, if you have this much allow some pleasures to you, the repercussions will be so much you have to suffer in the future. And even in the present time, your inner joy will be taken away. More you discipline, your inner joy right now will be maintained. More you allow this, your inner joy right now will be gone. That means you will have a long face. You see a lot of people who have enjoyed sensuality all the time, enjoying all these clubs and this and that. You know, in what you call that, next day morning, I don't know, there's that something, you know, but what's that name? After you drink and, you know, like you recover, I don't know what you call it. Hangover. Right, hangover. I don't know why you can. So it is very strongly there, but even if you would watch a movie or anything sensual, this will be there. Okay, in a minute way. It's entertaining all that, but if you discipline yourself and if you do something, you know, that you find that joy coming, confidence coming, you're happy for no reason. This is what we are trying to first experience, and then we'll get higher joys by seeing the, like, you know, seeing the Dhamma, realizing it. It's called Dhamma. Past other, examine them carefully. Whoever delights in corporeality or feeling or perception or mental form, it's not easy in this part of the world, I can imagine, you know. Everything is geared for enjoying. I remember later on my time in Nicosia, in Cyprus. There were times I couldn't keep myself, the practice I was going through. And times I have to call Sri Lanka, you know, Vajrarama. And Piyadasi Hamdru used to, I was then 21, right? Then Piyadasi Bante, he used to answer. And I should just tell them that I am in hell. Please, can you chant some Pirit to me? Hell means, I will tell you honestly, you know, Nicosia is full of nightclubs. And there is like, and I also tell my friends, I have some Dhamma friends who like Pakistani, Bangladeshi, you know, like we grouped. They became vegetarian also, some of them, you know, like, but then I tell this nightclub, or what do you call that, dance bars. They are underground, you know. So I tell you, it belongs to underground. So that time I remember, like when I'm in the booth, we don't have phones in those days. Very recently all these things came, so in the phone booth I'm calling Sri Lanka, and actually I'm a little upset with myself and really want to go, and this the aspect of my father. So mentally I was a little bit not very happy. So there are all these people going to these dance bars and all that. That's why I was telling I'm in hell now. And I hear those Bantes to chant Pirit and so on. So I can imagine in the world, you know, today also these places everywhere would have, but still, definitely you all have some powerful karma from samsara. Definitely they have that. That's why some mistakes or some out of the thing should not worry too much. But you shouldn't repeat it. Allow it to repeat or go on. You must bring your gen, which is very much, you might become more stronger than people living with this Dhamma and everything. Okay? So this is very important, you must tap it and bring it out as a human being. I think you should, so with proper company and keeping always exposed to the other things, and so increasing that. So that can happen. I didn't have this kind of experience in those countries. You all are having, I think, this part of the world, in spite of all other aspects. Even Australia, I see, they're having, now in the modern times, it's getting more and more people, and also more spiritual. Other one also we read the next page, page 18. Page 18, samsara. We just read the Bante's explanation, it's also quite good. It's Bante who wrote the book. The wheel of existence. Singulating level, 20.
Page 2. Samsara.
Okay. The wheel of existence, literally the perpetual wandering, is the name given in the Pali scriptures to the sea of life ever restlessly heaving up and down. The symbol of this continuous process of ever again and again being reborn, growing old, suffering and dying. More precisely put, samsara is the unbroken sequence, the fivefold khanda combinations, which constantly changing from moment to moment, follow continually one upon the other through inconceivable periods of time. Of this samsara, a single lifetime constitutes only a tiny fraction. Hence, to be able to comprehend the first noble truth, one must let one's gaze rest upon the samsara, upon the fivefold sequence of rebirths, and not merely upon one single lifetime, which of course may sometimes be not very painful. Just go to also page number 24, karma. We see higher picture, similarly. Page, the karma, the second noble truth, serves also to explain the causes of the seeming injustices in nature by teaching that nothing in the world can come into existence without reason or cause, and that not only our latent tendencies but our whole destiny, all weal and woe, result from causes which we have to seek partly in this life, partly in former states of existence. These causes are the life-affirming activities produced by body, speech and mind. Hence, it is this threefold action that determines the character and destiny of all beings. Exactly defined, karma donates those good and evil volitions, causing rebirth and shaping the destinies of beings. Thus, existence, or better, the process of becoming, consists of an active and conditioning karma process. As just now we talked about it. Active and conditioning karma process, and it results the rebirth process. Here too, when considering karma, one must not lose sight of the impersonal nature of existence. In the case of a storm-swept sea, it is not an identical wave that ascends over the surface, of the ocean, but it is the rising and falling of quite different masses of water. In the same way, it should be understood that there are no real ego entities hastening through the ocean of rebirth, but merely life waves which, according to their nature and activities, good or evil, manifest themselves here as humans, there as animals, and elsewhere as invisible beings. Page number 21. Now I want to talk about the walking meditation. Okay. Is it okay that part explanation?
Amazingly.
Really?
It's very good.
I had to.
I was amazed.
Okay, that's quite good. Your English is okay, so then you know definitely. But that is a little bit it's a little bit complicated, writing in English also. So, but it's good if it is conveying the idea. Page number 21. Maybe go back. සිංහල කමුණද මම හිතන්නේ මේක 23 සියලු ධර්මයන්ගේ හේතුපත්‍රිකාවයි. Depending on the of things. Now I want to explain to you the walking meditation. Alright. So when you stand up, okay, so just you must learn. What about your Gilam person?
At 4:30, Swami.
Now it's 4:30, right? 4:35, 4:40.
Okay.
Why don't you go and take your Gilam person?
Maybe do the Sakman Bhavana.
I will tell after. It will not take more than, I think, 15-20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I will stay here. Let's not take too much time. Okay. Today's first day, so we have only a few days, so we'll do something, okay? You can go in a line here or try to keep silent. Actually, try to not to be connected with anybody. It's very important if you want to, as I told you, that isolation, silence, only slowly you can exercise that. This is not just a knowledge of what is this written here or something. So it's for you to get a really an intuitive, unexpected vision. This is because we know about these things, we should get it, or at least you should do the things that you might get in the future. All right. Slowly go. Yes.
I have a few questions I can ask you. Okay. So what is the four oceans? Is that something like also is a karma created, or is it something we can see?
Oceans.
Four oceans.
Where is mentioned?
It's on page 19.
That's part of samsara.
Yeah, is it part of this? Yeah,
Your tears and
so your tears
Oh,
is
the
more like
ocean.
four oceans.
Okay.
Yeah.
it's just only a story.
Yes, sir.
Is it in this world or is it?
No, it's in the world. What Buddha is telling about. We have Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
See, the whole is talking about the endless, so much water. That's what he's meaning.
So yeah, this feels like there's a different kind of world, 4 oceans, and in the middle is a mountain. What is
Maru, and yeah, those things are certain meditation, energy field areas that are talking. But it's not, Buddha is not telling like that. He's talking about the physical earth.
okay?
Like this.
Physical Earth, and it says we're living on the south part island. What does it mean? Is it
Still
some-
here?
No, not here.
No,
But
no.
don't worry about those, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're now trying to become self-realized. If you know this, you know everything in the world. You know everything, how it's all these ideas are coming, all these places are coming. But you are going to the root of your experience. It's what you are doing now. That's why it's called enlightenment.
Okay, I'm still trying to understand, like, it's from the right understanding, right? Right thoughts.
Right view.
Yeah. Okay, I have actually a lot of questions. So, page 29, it says, I'll read it. It says escape from the unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, ununiform. So who escaped?
What is born has an identity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you are escaping from an identity.
Escape from identity.
That is the unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, unformed. Just Buddhists give an idea that this is all formed, originated.
Mm-hmm.
There is a place, there's something that is not born, not originated. You just give you an idea. You must not try to find what it is, because it is not thinkable.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm giving you some target, some idea. It's called some explanation of Nibbana.
Yeah. So is Nibbana exist, or is a non-exist of the
It's not to
born?
be talked about. It's infinite experience. So while you are just some idea, you don't try to now think, oh, now I will explain something. If someone explains Nibbana is like this,
Mm-hmm.
I think not realize Nibbana. So you know that this is something, no suffering. But you can tell from what is existing, and the absence of that is Nibbana, like that. You can explain. Absence of craving, absence of a self, like this.
So I don't understand. It's a exist, or it's a lack of existence of the born side.
It's not the way we think it exists like this now, our body, because it's a changing thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in the absence of change, that thing, that state,
Mm-hmm.
it's a state where it's absence of all these changing things. That's how you must just have an idea. It's not you can think and know about it. But when you're practicing and just contemplating,
Mm-hmm.
when you experience certain truths about you,
Mm-hmm.
you might experience that. That's what we are doing in this. We're trying to do in this retreat. Not think about it directly, you can't do like that,
Mm-hmm.
but do the practices which will make you realize that.
Okay, so I realize it, but not think about it directly.
It can never be happen. It's beyond thinking.
Okay.
That's why I tell you to go alone, stay alone.
Page 32. Page 32. Vipassana is immediate condition of entering the 4 stages. So does the 4 stages come
Of seeing Nibbana, of experiencing Nibbana. That's what they're telling. 4 stages means like Sotapanna,
Yeah.
flame entering.
So do they? Does this 4 stages come together? How to know it's achieved? Because once you have vipassana, Do you get all 4 stages together? No?
It might happen you get one of the highest even,
Yeah.
or you might get the first one like this.
But they're all called vipassana, right?
It's an effect of vipassana. It's
Huh?
an effect of vipassana. It's
Effect.
a result of vipassana.
It's a fact of.
Yeah, result of vipassana. Result of wisdom. So vipassana is bringing out wisdom, seeing the final truths of things as they are.
And there are different type of vipassana.
The same thing in different degrees.
Same thing in
Same,
different
yeah, like
degrees.
now if you attain the second state, it will be more degree of that.
Okay, so different
Degrees of seeing the truth, reality.
Okay, I see.
It has given, Buddha gives examples of like if you have a golden pot.
Okay, and so how to know if we just mentally understand the vipassana or it's from the heart? We really get this.
Okay, good question. Now I just told you whether you understand about the consciousness that it needs an object like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is mentally understanding.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I ask you whether you really understand. That is simple things like conditioned nature of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are mentally understanding, and then you must also, I will tell you other meditation where you are not thinking of all this. You are coming to like metta bhavana and anapanasati to empty the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do that also different separately, and you do this also a little bit thinking, and the walking you learn to think,
Mm-hmm.
then this might happen. You see it inside. Seeing inside means like, I don't want to explain too much about it. It's like, oh, this is it, like it becomes more clear. Okay, but don't, even if you get clear like that, don't imagine, oh, whether I attain this first or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, no, you had clarity. And just not attaching like this, expecting. Just you just be happy with that you're understanding more and more of the teaching.
And then it will come naturally.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But if you're expecting, this name like, oh, I want to attain this, or have I come to this, that's not a good way.
Just naturally understand and then how to practice.
You're doing now.
Oh, okay.
You're now reading and now you're doing it. Taking the precepts and clearing your mind, and you're now starting to.
I see. So how to follow the heart, not the mind? Like how do we say what is heart?
Heart, okay, you can tell when you're having faith and all that,
Mm-hmm.
devotion. And also now when you practice more of compassion meditation and all these things. And the mind means you have more, you're developing more sharp awareness, reflection, contemplating. So no need to follow anything. If you just do like reading, contemplating these things, and then you have a heart of going refuge to the Buddha, things will happen. Oh my God, you have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Sorry, are you
No
like
problem.
waiting? Someone waiting?
No.
Sorry, okay. Okay, page 40. What's the difference between path, magga, and the fruition, pyala? Is vipassana same as the path? Because it lead to the pyala fruition, right? So it's the path and the vipassana same thing?
Path is what you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Try to contemplate, reading and looking and keeping your precepts and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Phala is you have a special experience out of it, special clarity coming. Good in a way, because
So vipassana